Legacy building. 1 hour meditation TO design your life a calm reading for people who don't want to die with their music still in them. If you press play, you're probably scared. Scared you'll get to 80 and realize you lived someone else's life. Scared your kids will remember your stress, not your stories. Scared your name dies when you do. This isn't motivation. This isn't hustle culture. This is 12 questions about legacy answered with psychology, history, and silence. My name doesn't matter. Your life does. There are 12 chapters. Less than 10 minutes each. We'll breathe. We'll think. We'll build. You don't have to be special. You just have to start. If you fall asleep, good. Your subconscious is listening. If you get angry, good. Anger is fuel. If you feel nothing, good. Numb is where we start. This is legacy building. Let's design a life worth remembering. Chapter 1. What if I die unknown? The question. You'll be forgotten. Not today. Not by your mom. But in 100 years, nobody will say your name. Your Instagram will be deleted. Your house will be sold. Someone else will sit at your desk. So, what's the point? Why build anything if time erases it? Why care about legacy if obscurity is guaranteed? The story. The janitor at NASA 1962. JFK is touring NASA. He sees a janitor with a broom. Stops. Asks, "What are you doing?" The man says, "Mr. President, I'm helping put a man on the moon." He wasn't lying. He wasn't delusional. He understood. No clean floors, no clean room. No clean room, no rocket. No rocket, no moon. He died unknown. We don't know his name. NASA doesn't have a statue of him. But Neil Armstrong walked on the moon because a guy with a broom did his job. Emily Dickinson wrote 1,800 poems, published 10 while alive. Anonymous. She died in 1886. Her sister found 40 notebooks in a drawer. Now she's required reading in every high school in America. Vincent van Gogh sold one painting in his life to his brother for 400 francs. He died broke, thinking he was a failure. Today, Starry Night is worth over $100 million. History doesn't remember most people, but most people keep history moving. The Roman Empire was built by millions of farmers you've never heard of. The internet runs on code written by engineers who will never be on a podcast. Your DNA has 8,000 years of ancestors who died unknown. You're here because they didn't quit. The how. Legacy isn't fame. Psychologist Alfred Adler called it social interest, the need to matter to the tribe. When that need gets hijacked by Instagram, you think legacy equals followers. It doesn't. Legacy equals impact. Study from Harvard, 75 years long. The number one predictor of happiness at 80 isn't money or fame. It's relationships. Not how many people knew you, how deeply a few people did. Anthropologist Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. You don't need to be known by millions. You need to be unforgettable to 12. Jesus had 12. Changed the world. Your 12 is your kids, your team, your street, your craft, the practice, the 100-year obituary. Close your eyes. Breathe. Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 6. Imagine it's 100 years from now. You're gone. Your great-grandkid finds a box in the attic. Your name is on it. What's in the box? Not your bank statements. Not your LinkedIn. Letters? A journal? A voice memo? A thing you built that still works? Now open your eyes. Write down one thing that would be in that box. Not someday. This month. A letter to your future kid. A podcast episode. A garden that feeds someone. If it's in the box, it outlives you. You don't control being remembered. You control what's left behind. The one line you will die unknown. But your work doesn't have to. Build the box. Chapter 2. What if I pick the wrong life? The question. You're 30, 40, 50. Half your life is gone. Maybe more. And you're not sure you picked right. Wrong job. Wrong city. Wrong person. Wrong dream. Is it too late to change? Or Do you just ride this out because starting over is for 20-year-olds? The story, the late bloomers. Colonel Sanders was 62 when he franchised KFC. Before that, fired from a dozen jobs, failed lawyer, failed gas station owner. He was broke. The Social Security check was $105 per month. He drove around with a pressure cooker and chicken recipe. Rejected 1,009 times. Yes, 1,009. Restaurant hashtag 1010 said yes. Vera Wong was a figure skater. Didn't make the Olympics. Became a Vogue editor. At 40, quit. Became a bridal designer. First dress at 40. Now she's worth $650 million. Ray Kroc sold paper cups and milkshake machines until 52. Met the McDonald brothers. Built the empire. He said, I was an overnight success. But 30 years is a long night. Stan Lee created his first hit comic, The Fantastic Four, at 39. Before that, he was writing obituaries and ads for 20 years. Grandma Moses started painting at 78. Arthritis stopped her embroidery, so she picked up a brush. Her paintings now hang in the Met. She painted until 101. The University of Waterloo study. Average person changes careers 5 to 7 times. The average CEO is 54 when they get the job. The average successful startup founder is 45, not 22. You're not late. You're on time for your life. The how, the sunk cost lie. Psychology term, sunk cost fallacy. You keep investing in a bad choice because you've already invested. I've been a lawyer for 10 years. I can't quit now. Yes, you can. Those 10 years bought you skills, not a sentence. Neurologist Oliver Sacks. The brain is wider than the sky. Neuroplasticity doesn't stop at 25. London cab drivers who memorize 25,000 streets literally grow their hippocampus. At 40. At 50. Brawny Ware, palliative. Nurse, recorded top 5 regrets of the dying. Number 1. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Not I wish I'd worked more. Not I wish I'd played it safe. Jeff Bezos, regret minimization framework. He asks, at 80, will I regret not doing this? He quit a hedge fund at 30 to sell books online. His boss said, that sounds like a really good idea for someone who doesn't have a good job. Bezos went anyway. The practice, the 80-year-old test. Close your eyes. Breathe. Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 6. You're 80. Sitting on a porch. Your life is mostly done. 2 versions of you walk up. Version 1. Stay in the life you have now. Play it safe. No risks. Version 2. Changed at this age. It was messy. Failed sometimes. But you tried. Which 80-year-old is more disappointed? Not which one is richer. Which one regrets more? Open your eyes. Whatever version 2 did, write 1 step. Not quit my job. Too big. Email 1 person in the field I want. Take 1. Class. Save $100 for the escape fund. You're not starting over. You're starting from experience. The one line, the wrong life is the one you don't question. It's not too late. It's just your turn. Chapter 3. How do I find what I'm meant to do? The question, find your passion, sounds like bad career advice. You don't have one. Or you have 10. Or the one you had doesn't pay. How do people know? Is there a sign? A voice? Or am I just supposed to guess until I die? The story, the Ikigai fisherman. Okinawa, Japan. Island of centenarians. People live to 100 at 5x the rate of Americans. Researchers asked them, why do you get up in the morning? They all said one word, Ikigai. Reason for being. There's a fisherman 102. I still fish every day. Not for money. His family is fed. He says, I fish because the sea needs me, and I need the sea. He doesn't call it passion. He calls it responsibility plus joy. Ikigai equals 4 circles. What you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, what you can be paid for. Most people pick 1. Follow your passion. Then go broke. Or pick 4. chase the bag, then burn out. The fisherman has all four. He loves the sea. He's good at fishing. His village needs fish. They pay him. Howard Thurman said, "Don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive." But alive plus useless equals frustration. Alive plus useful equals ikigai. Steve Jobs in his 2005 Stanford speech. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. He dropped out. I took a calligraphy class for fun. 10 years later, that class designed the Mac fonts. He didn't find his passion. He followed curiosity. The dots connected later. The how. Passion is made, not found. Stanford study, 80% of people don't have a pre-existing passion. Cal Newport, so good they can't ignore you. Passion comes after you put in the hard work to become excellent, not before. You don't find your ikigai. You build it. Start with, what did you do as a kid before anyone paid you? What do people ask your help for? What can you read about for 3 hours and not get bored? Angela Duckworth, grit. Enthusiasm is common. Endurance is rare. Passion is a side effect of mastery. You love it because you're good at it. You're good at it because you did it when it sucked. Naval Ravikant. Play long-term games with long-term people. Legacy isn't found in 6 months. It's built in 6 years. 6 decades. The practice. The 4 circles, grab paper. Draw 4 circles. Love. What did 8-year-olds do for fun? Write 3 things. Good. What do people thank you for? Write 3 things. Need. What problem in your world pisses you off? Write 1 thing. Paid. Who already pays for solutions to that problem? Write 1 name/company. Where do they overlap? Even 2 circles? That's your starting. Not your forever job. Your next 6-month experiment. Jobs was a calligraphy nerd. Nerd. Then a tech nerd. The dots connected. Stop looking for the whole map. Find the next. The one line. You don't find your purpose. You build it. Start with what you loved before the world told you what to love. Chapter 4. What if I'm not talented enough? The question, you see people your age doing it better. Younger. Smarter. More followers. More money. More talent. You're average. Maybe below. So, why bother? The world doesn't need another mediocre the story. The 10,000-hour plumbers. 1993, psychologist K. Anders Ericsson studies violinists at a music academy. Best violinists, 10,000 hours of practice by age 20. Good violinists, 8,000 hours. Teachers, 4,000 hours. No naturals who practiced less and were better. No grinders who practiced 10,000 hours and still sucked. Malcolm Gladwell wrote Outliers, made 10,000 hours famous. But he left out the rest. You need 10,000 hours of deliberate practice, not mindless repetition. Michael Jordan was cut from high school varsity. I went home, locked the door, and cried. Then I practiced. 10,000 hours. Stephen King's first novel, Carrie, was rejected 30 times. He threw it in the trash. His wife fished it out, said, try again. He's now sold 350 million books. J.K. Rowling, 12 publishers rejected Harry Potter. Too long for kids. She was a single mom on welfare. Rode in cafes because her flat had no heat. Charlize Theron, no acting talent at 19. She was a ballet dancer. A knee injury ended it. One day she's in a bank, yelling at a teller who won't cash an out-of-state check. The talent agent in line hears her, gives her his card. She wasn't discovered for talent. She was discovered for rage. Then she put in 10,000 hours. The how. Talent is overrated. Carol Dweck, Stanford. Growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Fixed. I'm not talented, so I won't try. Growth. I'm not talented yet. NASA study. The #1 predictor of astronaut success is an IQ. It's tolerance for ambiguity. Can you keep going when you suck and don't know if it'll work? James Clear, Atomic Habits. You do not rise to the level of your goals. you fall to the level of your systems. Talent is a head start. Systems are the race. Warren Buffett. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. You don't need to be great at 10 things. You need to be good at one thing for 10 years. The practice. The 1% rep, you don't need 10,000 hours today. You need one rep. Close your eyes. Breathe. Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 6. What's the skill your legacy needs? Writing, coding, listening, selling. Now, what's 1% better than yesterday? Not write a book. Write one sentence. Not get jacked. Do one push up. Not be a CEO. Email one customer. Open your eyes. Do that rep before midnight. Talent is a myth. Reps are real. If you do 1% for 365 days, you're 37x better. Math. The one line, you don't need to be the most talented. You need to be the most consistent. The world isn't changed by geniuses. It's changed by plumbers within 10,000 hours. Chapter 5. How do I start when I'm scared? The question. You know what to do. You've watched the videos, read the books, made the plan, but you don't start. Fear feels like a wall. What if I fail? What if they laugh? What if I'm not ready? How do you move when your body says no? 1 to 5:30, the story. The first penguin, Antarctica. Colony of penguins. They're starving. Food is in the water. But the water has leopard seals. Seals eat penguins. So they all stand at the edge, waiting. Nobody jumps, because the first one might die. Then one penguin jumps that if he lives, they all jump. If he dies, well, they're still starving. That penguin is called the first penguin. In business, it's first mover advantage. In life, it's just first mover survival. Rosa Parks, 1955. She wasn't the first to refuse to give up her seat. Claudette Colvin, 15, did it 9 months earlier. But Parks was the first whose case the NAACP thought could win. She was tired. My feet hurt. Said no. She didn't feel brave. She said later, I was not tired physically. No, the only tired I was tired of giving in. Neil Armstrong, 1969. Landing on the moon. 400,000 people worked on Apollo 11. But when the computer overloaded 6 minutes after landing, Armstrong took manual control. He had 60 seconds of fuel left. One crater could kill them. He landed with 17 seconds to spare. His heart rate, 150. Terrified. Still landed. You don't need to be fearless. You need to be first penguin. The how. Fear is data, not a directive. Neuroscience. Your amygdala can't tell the difference between a tiger and a tweet. Public speaking triggers the same I'm gonna die response as a lion. Mel Robbins' 5-second rule. If you have an impulse to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill it. Your brain's job is to keep you safe, not successful. Safe equals couch. Successful equals risk. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Count down and move before your brain talks you out of it. Stephen Pressfield, The War of Art. Resistance is the force that stops you from doing your work. Resistance is strongest when you're closest to your breakthrough. If you feel fear, you're probably on the right track. Tim Ferriss. What we fear doing most is usually what we most need to do. That phone call, that post, that quit, the practice, the 5-second jump. Think of one thing you've been avoiding. Not start a business. Too big. Send the email. Record the video. Ask the question. Close your eyes. Breathe. Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 6. Now say it out loud. I'm scared, and I'm doing it anyway. Then count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes. Before this chapter ends, do the thing. Not perfect. Not ready. Done. You're the first penguin. If you die, you die. But if you live, the colony eats. The one line, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's 5 seconds of action before fear wins. Jump. Chapter 6. What if I fail in public? The question, private failure is fine. You can hide it. Public failure is death. Everyone sees. They screenshot it. They remember.
So you don't try.
You don't post. You don't launch. Because if you fail, it's not just you who knows. It's everyone. The story. The Miss Universe Fall 2015. Miss Universe. Live TV. 1 billion viewers. Steve Harvey reads the card. Miss Columbia. The crown goes on her head.
She cries. Waves.
Flag. Then Steve walks back out. I have to apologize. The first runner-up is Colombia. Miss Universe 2015 is in the Philippines. He took the crown off her head. On live TV. Put it on someone else's. Humiliation on a planetary scale. What did he do next year? Host again. Made a joke about it in his monologue. He said, I've learned from my mistakes. The crowd cheered. Michael Jordan commercial, 1997. I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times, I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and miss.
I've
Failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed. Breen Brown, TED Talk The Power of Vulnerability, 65 million views. She almost didn't give it. Said, I'm a vulnerability researcher. I'm not supposed to be vulnerable. She had a breakdown after. Though her career was over. That talk made her career. Sarah Blakely, Spanx founder. Her dad asked her every week as a kid, what did you fail at this week? If she said nothing, he would be disappointed. She said, failure became about not trying instead of the outcome. She's now a billionaire. The how? Public failure is a tax. Psychology. Spotlight effect. You think people notice you 50% more than they do. Reality. Everyone is the main character of their own movie. They forget your flop by lunch. Edison, 10,000 failed light bulb attempts. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. But he did those experiments in private. You don't have that luxury. So reframe. Public failure is tuition. You're paying to learn where everyone can see. Amazon, Fire Phone, 2014. Flopped. 170 $170 million loss. Jeff Bezos. If you're not failing, you're not innovating enough. That failure paid for Alexa. Reid Hoffman, LinkedIn founder. If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you launched too late. Your first YouTube video will suck. Your first business will suck.
Good.
Ship it. The market will grade you. Then you get better. The practice, the failure resume. Close your eyes.
Breathe.
Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 6. Think of 3 public failures. Times you choked, got rejected, posted and got 2 likes. Now, next to each one, right? What did I learn? Not I'm a loser.
Data.
Example. Bombed that speech. Learn. I didn't practice out loud. Business flop. Learn. I didn't talk to customers first. You're not collecting failures. You're collecting tuition receipts. Tape them to your wall. That's your failure resume. You need 10 failures before you get 1 win. Start collecting. The one line, you're not afraid of failing. You're afraid of being seen failing.
Do it anyway. The
World forgets. You learn. Fail in public. Succeed in private. Chapter 7. How do I stay motivated? The question, you start strong. Day 1, energy is 100%. Day 30, you're at 10%. Day 90, you quit. Motivation is a liar. It shows up for launches and disappears for work. So, if you can't rely on motivation, what do you rely on? The story. The Bricklayers' 30 Years Cathedral of St. John the Divine, NYC. Largest cathedral in the world. Construction started 1892. Still not finished. There's a bricklayer there, James. He's been laying bricks for 30 years. Same wall, same brick, same mortar. Every day, reporter asks, don't you get bored? James says, I'm not laying bricks. I'm building a cathedral. He's 67. He won't see it finished. His kids won't. Maybe his grandkids. But every brick is a prayer. Stephen King writes 2,000 words every day. Christmas. Birthday.
Sick.
He says, amateurs sit and wait for inspiration. The rest of us just get up and go to work. He's written 65 novels. Jerry Seinfeld. Don't break the chain. He has a calendar. Every day he writes jokes. He puts it a red X goal. Don't break the chain. After 30 days, you don't want to break the chain. After 300 days, your identity is the chain. Angela Duckworth studied West Point cadets. The best predictor of who makes it through Beast Barracks isn't IQ, isn't fitness, isn't leadership scores. It's grit, passion, and perseverance for long-term goals. The how, motivation versus systems neuroscience. Dopamine isn't a pleasure chemical. It's a motivation chemical. You get dopamine from anticipating reward, not getting it. That's why scrolling feels good but empty. Anticipation, no reward. James Clear. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Goals. I want to write a book. System. I write one sentence every day at 7 a.m. David Goggins. Motivation is crap. It comes and goes. When you're driven, whatever is in front of you will get destroyed. Driven equals discipline plus Y. Navy SEALs 40% rule. When your mind says you're done, you're only 40% done. Your body has 60% left. Your mind quits first. The practice. The cathedral brick, close your eyes.
Breathe.
Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 6. What's your cathedral? The thing that takes 30 years. Write a book. Raise a kid. Build a company. Master a craft. Now, what's one brick? Not the wall. Not the room. One brick. One sentence. One push-up. One sales call. 1 minute of practice. Open your eyes. Do that brick today. Then tomorrow do it again. Don't break the chain. You won't feel motivated. You'll feel like James.
Bored.
Lay the brick anyway. You're not laying bricks. You're building a cathedral. The one-line motivation is a spark. Systems are the fire. Don't chase the spark. Lay the brick. Cathedrals are built by bricklayers, not visionaries. Chapter 8. What if no one supports me? The question. You tell your friends your dream. They laugh. That's stupid. You tell your family. Be realistic.
Get a real job.
You post online.
2 likes.
Both from bots. It feels like you're alone. Do you need permission? Do you need a cheerleader? Or do you go anyway? The story. The Van Gogh brothers. Vincent van Gogh had one supporter, his brother Theo. Theo sent him money for paint, money for food, letters every week. Vincent wrote 900 letters to Theo. No one else believed in him. Theo died 6 months after Vincent. If Theo had quit, we wouldn't have Starry Night. Oprah Winfrey, fired from her first TV job. The producer said she was unfit for television news. Her grandmother told her to find a job that makes sense. She kept going. One supporter, her father, told her, "Girl, you're gonna be somebody." Lady Gaga played in bars for 10 people.
The
Record label dropped her after 3 months. Her dad said, "I'll pay your rent for 1 year. If you don't make it, you go back to school." She made it in 11 months. Tyler Perry, homeless, living in his car, wrote plays. First play, 1992. 30 people showed up. His mom said, "Baby, come home." He said, "I can't. I have to do this." He slept in cars for 6 years. Now owns a 330-acre studio. You don't need a crowd. You need one Theo. The how. Isolation is data. Psychologist Howard Gardner. Creative people are often marginalized. If everyone agrees with you, your idea isn't new enough. Rejection equals signal you're early. Airbnb. 7 investors rejected them in 2008. No one wants to sleep in a stranger's house. Today, worth $75 billion. Sarah Blakely cut the feet off her pantyhose. Went to Mills. All men. All left. No one wants that. She drove to Neiman Marcus herself, asked to pitch the buyer in the bathroom, sold 8,000 in the first 3 months. If your family doesn't get it, it's because they love you and fear is loud.
They want you safe, not. Great.
Safe doesn't build legacy. Paul Graham, Y Combinator. The best ideas seem bad at. First, if it seemed good, someone would have done it already. The practice. The Theo letter, close your eyes.
Breathe.
Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 6. Who is your Theo? Not who you wish to support you. Who actually does? One person. Could be a friend. A stranger online. Your future self. Open your eyes. Write them a letter. Dear Theo, today I did underscore underscore. I'm scared. I'm alone. But I'm not quitting. Thanks for believing in me. Even if you're just me. If you have no Theo, be Theo. Send the letter to yourself. Read it when you want to quit. Van Gogh's 900 letters weren't to fans. They were to one person. You only need one. The one line, you don't need the crowd to start. You need one Theo to continue. If you don't have one, be one. Chapter 9. How do I handle success? The question, you think success solves problems. It doesn't. It upgrades them. Now you have money, and friends get weird. Now you have followers, and hate shows up. Now you have the thing, and you're terrified to lose it. How do you win without becoming someone you hate? The story. The lottery winners, 70% of lottery winners go broke within 5 years. They get $200 million. Buy houses.
Cars. Friends.
I end up depressed.
Divorced. Sued.
Jack Whitaker won $315 million in 2002. Largest single jackpot ever. 5 years later, granddaughter died of overdose. Daughter died. Wife left. He said, I wish I'd torn that ticket up. Mike Tyson, $400 million earned. 2003. Bankrupt. He said, I was a little kid with money. I didn't know how to act. Opposite, Keanu Reeves. Made $200 million from The Matrix. Gave $75 million to the crew. Bought Harleys for all 12 stuntmen. Rides the subway. I live in a normal apartment.
Why?
He said, money doesn't mean anything to.
Me.
I've made a lot of money, but I want to enjoy life and not stress myself. Warren Buffett, worth $130 billion. Lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. Eat McDonald's. Drives himself. His rule, don't do anything in life where if you lost all your money, you'd be ashamed of how you got it. Dave Chappelle walked away from $50 million at Comedy Central, went to Africa, was called crazy, came back 10 years later on his terms, said, the hardest thing to do is to be true to yourself, especially when everybody is watching. The how. Success is a test psychology. Hedonic treadmill. You get the thing, you adapt, you need more. The first million feels like freedom. Second million feels like one. Third feels like two. You never arrive. Ryan Holiday, ego is the enemy. Ego is the enemy of what you want and of what you have. Success feeds ego. Ego kills success. Sheryl Sandberg. Done is better than perfect. But after success, perfect becomes the enemy. You're scared to release anything that isn't 10 out of 10. So you release nothing. Navel. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. If your game is be famous, your prize is hate comments. If your game is be rich, your prize is anxiety.
Pick your game.
Pick your prize. The how. Success is a test psychology. Hedonic treadmill. You get the thing, you adapt. You need more. Tim Ferriss. What you praise, you increase. If you praise money, you'll get money and lose peace. If you praise peace, you'll get peace and maybe lose money. The Rockefellers. John D. was the richest man in history. His son, John Jr., gave away 95% of it. He said, the ability to deal with people is as purchasable a commodity as sugar or coffee. And I pay more for that ability than for any other. Legacy isn't what you make, it's what you give. The practice. The prenup with success. Close your eyes.
Breathe.
Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 6. Imagine you got the thing. Money.
Fame.
The goal. Now ask, what will I not do for more?
Lie. Cheat.
Ghost my family? What will I still do if I lose it all?
Right.
Build? Help? Who am I if they take my title away? Open your eyes. Write your answers. That's your prenup with success. Buffett's house. Keanu's subway. Chappelle's Africa. They decided who they were before the money told them who to be. Success will test you. Pass the test by knowing your answers now. The one line, success doesn't change you. It reveals you. Write your prenup before you say, I do to the dream. Win, but don't become someone you wouldn't respect if you lost. Chapter 10. What if I'm too broken to build? The question. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from negative. Trauma.
Debt.
Addiction.
Divorce.
Regret. Your resume has holes. Your heart has holes. People build from stable ground. You're in a ditch. Can you build a legacy when you're still bleeding? The story. The kintsugi makers.
Japan.
15th century. Art called kintsugi. When a bowl breaks, they don't throw it away. They mend it with gold. The cracks are highlighted, not hidden. The bowl is more valuable than broken. Your life is that bowl. Bethany Hamilton. I am 13 years old. Surfer. Shark takes her left arm. 1 month later, she's back on the board. Now, pro surfer. Wrote a book. Movies made.
Mom.
Her TED Talk. I don't need easy. I just need possible. Her missing arm is her gold. Liz Murray. My parents were addicts. HIV positive. She was homeless at 15. Slept on subways. Read books in stairwells. Got into Harvard. Now she runs a company. Her TED Talk. It doesn't matter where you come from. It matters where you're going. Robert Downey Jr. 1996 to 2001. Arrested 6 times.
Jail.
Rehab. Fired from Ally McBeal. 2008. Iron Man 2019. Highest paid actor in the world. He said, remember, just because you hit bottom doesn't mean you have to stay there. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. 1995. Cut from the Canadian Football League. $7 in his pocket.
Depressed.
Called his dad. I'm done. Dad said, you're not done. You're just getting started. Now, highest paid actor 5 years in a row. The ditch is the foundation. 5:30 to 8 o'clock, the how. Post-traumatic growth. Psychology. Post-traumatic stress is real. So is post-traumatic growth. Study of 1,500 people. 89% reported at least one positive change after trauma. More compassion. More purpose. More gratitude. Dr. Edith Eger, Holocaust survivor. The opposite of depression is not happiness. It's an expression. You don't heal by forgetting. You heal by transforming. Kintsugi principle. The break is where the light enters. Your divorce taught you empathy. Your debt taught you discipline. Your addiction taught you surrender. That's gold. Sell it. James 1 verses 2 to 4. Consider it pure joy when you face trials, because the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Not if, when. Trials are the kiln. You're the bowl. The practice. The gold lines. Close your eyes.
Breathe.
Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 6. Name one break. The big one. The one you hide.
Divorce.
Bankruptcy. Relapse. Abuse. Failure. Now ask, what did this teach me that easy never could? Not why did it happen? What did it make? Write it down. That's your gold. Example. Bankruptcy taught me cash flow. Divorce taught me to listen. Addiction taught me surrender. Your bio isn't despite the break. It's because of the break. Bethany doesn't hide the arm. It's her logo. Open your eyes. Your broken part is your superpower. Stop sanding it down. The one line. You're not too broken to build. You're broken in the exact place the gold goes.
Kintsugi.
You're not damaged. You're valuable. Chapter 11. How do I want to be remembered? The question: funerals are weird. People say nice things. He was a good man. She loved hard. But it's vague. Safe. If you died tomorrow, what would they actually say? And is that what you want them to say? The story: Nobel's obituary. Alfred Nobel. 1888. His brother Ludwig dies. A French newspaper screws up. Prince Alfred's obituary instead. Headline: The Merchant of Death is dead. Alfred reads it. He invented dynamite, made millions selling explosives, weapons.
War.
His obituary: Dr. Alfred Nobel, who became rich by finding ways to kill more people faster than ever before, died yesterday. He was alive, reading how the world saw him. He was horrified. So he changed his will, left 94% of his fortune to start the Nobel Prizes.
Peace.
Literature, science, medicine. Now, 125 years later, no one remembers the dynamite. They remember the
Prize.
Clara Barton, 1881, started the American Red Cross. Her eulogy: she was never a woman of words, but a woman of deeds. She wanted to be remembered for showing up. So she did. In wars, in floods. Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers, died 2003. At his memorial, a congressman said, "He never once showed us how to live. He showed us that we were loved while we lived." That was his legacy. He decided it at 30. The how: eulogy values versus resume values. David Brooks, The Road to Character. Resume virtues versus eulogy virtues. Resume: CEO. Author: net worth. Eulogy: kind. Present:
Brave.
nobody says he had a great ROI at a funeral. They say he made me feel safe. Jeff Bezos. When you're 80, you're not going to think about your 1994 W-2. You'll think about the people you loved and the things you built that mattered. Bronnie wears number 2. Regret of dying. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Number 3. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Number 4. I wish I had stayed in touch with friends. Number 5. I wish I had let myself be happier. Notice: no one says I wish I'd posted more. The practice: write your eulogy. Close your eyes.
Breathe.
Inhale 4. Hold 4. Exhale 6. It's your funeral. 3 people speak: your kid, or the kid you wish you had, your best friend, your enemy. What do you want them to say? Not what they would say today.
What you want them to say.
Here lies: they were. Because of them, I. Open your eyes. Write it. Now, do one thing today that future proofs that sentence. If you want he was present, put your phone down at dinner. If you want she was brave, send the email. Nobel read his obituary while alive. You just did. Now change it. The one line: don't live to be remembered. Live so that when you're remembered, it's true. Write your eulogy, then live it. Chapter 12. What do I do on day 1 after this? The question: you listened for 2 hours. You cried. You breathed. You wrote. Now it's over. It's quiet. Tomorrow is Monday. The podcast stops. Life starts. What now? How do you not waste this? How do you make this the day before everything changes? The story: the first brick after the war, 1945. World War II ends. London is rubble. St. Paul's Cathedral survived, but the city didn't. Winston Churchill: we shape our buildings. Thereafter, they shape us. There's a photo. A man in a suit, 1945, laying the first brick of a new house. He's not a builder. He's a banker, but his house is gone. So he lays one brick. Caption: he didn't wait for permission. He didn't wait for help. He laid a brick. James Clear: every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. You don't become a writer by wanting. You become a writer by writing one sentence. Jerry Seinfeld: first show, bombed. Second show, bombed. He said, I learned that the only way to get good is to be bad for a long time. So he went on stage every night. You don't need a 5-year plan. You need a 5-minute plan. Day 1 isn't change your life. It's lay one brick. The how, the 24-hour rule psychology, implementation intention. People who write, I will do X at Y time and Z place are 3x more likely to do it. Get in shape fails. Walk for 10 minutes at 7 a.m. in my neighborhood works. The 2-minute rule, if it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now. If it takes more, start with 2 minutes. Can't write a book? Write for 2 minutes. Can't run a mile? Put on shoes. Your brain hates starting. It doesn't hate continuing. Start so small you can't fail. Mel Robbins, you're never going to feel like it. My motivation is gone.
Discipline is what's left.
And discipline is just remembering your eulogy from chapter 11. The practice, the day one brick. Close your eyes.
Last time. Breathe.
Inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 6. From all 11 chapters, what's one brick? Not 10.
1.
Chapter 1, what goes in your 100-year box? Chapter 2, what's your 80-year-old test step? Chapter 3, what's your next? Chapter 4, what's your 1% rep? Chapter 5, what's your 5-second jump? Chapter 6, what's your tuition receipt? Chapter 7, what's your cathedral brick? Chapter 8, who's your Theo? Chapter 9, what's your prenup line? Chapter 10, what's your gold line? Chapter 11, what's your eulogy sentence? Pick one. Say it out loud. I will. Tomorrow at. Open your eyes. Put it in your phone as an alarm, not a goal, an appointment with your legacy. The one line, book 2 ends here. Your life doesn't. You don't need more information. You need more bricks. Legacy isn't built in 2 hours. It's built on day 1. Again and again. Lay the brick. This is the end of legacy building. But it's day 1 for you. You're not going to remember all 12 chapters. Good. Remember one brick. If you die tomorrow, they won't read your notes. They'll read your life. So go live it.
Scared.
Average. Broken. Unknown. Lay the brick anyway. The cathedral takes 30 years. Your job is today. This is legacy building. Amen.